And so down at the bottom, there's a support for all three types of profiles for teachers, students, or administrators. When you click on that, there's an introduction, all the different pages with SMART, a little profile on each one of them, how to create or log in, all the curriculum, the structure of the curriculum, the types of content that we have, how to update your profile, how to change your photo, how to see your class, help for teachers, the basics of teaching, all the different techniques, the media and listening, how do you teach that, the marking exercises, how do we do that, how do we edit, peer editing where they can share between each other and write on each other's documents.
You know, it was so interesting yesterday. The teacher, what's her name, Michelle? She signed homework for the students. They had to read something about festivals. And then on Thursday, the students are going to present something about festivals. The homework they read and something that they found interesting, and they are going to prepare a presentation, and they have to speak for, I don't know, 5 minutes, or I can't remember how long.
It's a very big part of SMART, is that being able to make presentations, build presentations, being able to speak in front of other people, because that's a generational thing where in the past you didn't have to do that as much as you do now.
Yes.
So just having a meeting with someone on Skype or talking in front of someone before was only for business people or only for this or only for that, but now with the world so global, everyone has to be able to stand up and talk to somebody else in English.
No, that was so interesting because we do that in Brazil as well, and the students hate it. So I'm going to tell them, see, this
Everyone
is
does it.
everywhere. Everyone does it, and it was so interesting. The students liked it, and they were like, "Oh, I'm going to talk about Carnival," and the other one, "Oh, I'm going to talk about the Independence Day."
So sometimes you have to give students something a little outside their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So if I'm talking always about my country, my country, my country, my country, that's really boring for students. But if you say, okay, what country do you like? Okay, what country are you interested in? And then you can say, find a festival in that country and tell us about that. So by changing things up a little bit and actually teaching students how to make a better presentation, we've had, I think especially in the 125, 130 program, there's a lot building up to building better presentations where teaching them how to make the slides and reduce the words and how to be able to talk about that based on those reduced words but still understand the meaning, and kind of giving them some background on how to present.
It was so interesting. And also the teacher presented a new program in the computer, so the students have an extra option.
Yeah.
You know, they have PowerPoint that everybody knows, and then she showed, what's the name? Pretzel?
Yeah. So we have, on this as well, we have a list of resources, and we also have learning tools. And so there's a lot of things here that a teacher will use. So maybe she uses Prezi as a tool for presenting. So another way, get your students to use different programs, because it's not just going into a classroom and say, yes, I can use PowerPoint and yes, I can use Google, but yes, I know there are other programs out there and I have tried them. So a boss is really impressed when you say, oh, yes, I can give PowerPoint, but he's even more impressed, or she's even more impressed by saying, oh, but this one is way better than PowerPoint, and why don't we do this approach, or something like that. That's something that a boss in a workplace would remember.
It's more modern, and
Absolutely.
it's different.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's something that, as a new there's lots of tools like this, and that's what we want to find, and we do that by talking to teachers around the world and saying, what sites do you find helpful? What sites do you find helpful? Because if we find one, we put it on our website. If it's something that people are using all the time, that's what we want. We want this to be kind of this community of teachers and educators and students working together, helping each other, and we're very close to that point where everyone can be in contact with each other. And so that's the next big step for us, is to making sure that teachers here in Canada can talk to the teachers in Brazil, can talk to the teachers in Ukraine, the Middle East, and everywhere, so that there is this kind of open communication and sharing of ideas.
You don't learn just English.
No, and soon the students are going to be doing that as well. The students are going to be saying, well, hey, I can go to this smart school, I can go to that smart school, I can go to this school, I can talk to all of these students. So it's being part of this group, or an alumni almost, of this is like my school, this is almost like their university where you become identified with that school or with those other students. So these are going to be the students that they will be networking with in the future, and those are going to be business partners and connections that those students will have. They can say, oh, you took a SMART course, so we could, hey, let's talk to each other.
From
there's
now
going
on,
to be,
every time that I have to do a presentation in Brazil,
Yeah.
I'm going to use Prezi because I just
you saw it,
just
you
I
understood
saw
it, you see that
it's
students can use
different,
it.
It's more modern. It's more dynamic. The
Yes,
presentation,
and it's very visual.
right.
So there's a lot of those things in our resources section that when we find something that we like, we put it in. So there's vocabulary websites, typing, games, things like that. Teacher training is usually if I will go or someone else will go to train the teachers. We start with this, we get them to do lots of workshops and things together. So it's not just we train one person comes here and likes the idea, but we also are really passionate about making sure that the teachers understand how this should work in the classroom and making sure that those teachers are ready to teach it in the classroom and not just saying, okay, good luck, because we know that doesn't work. It doesn't work without the teachers in the classroom. They're the biggest part.
Got it.
Yeah. So I'm just going to check on Craig to see if he's ready.